All right, all right, all right. You are tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, kinetic-high-five.com. Thank you guys for being here with me. I just want to take this time to thank you because I know that you could be any place else in the world. There's so much going on online and in real life. And you're here with me on Kinetic High Fi, and we are going places. We are doing amazing things, and that's what we're doing right now. It's time for Heart Talk. Heart Talk is the talk portion of our show. This is where we come together to renew our minds and restore our hearts. And I really love this segment of the show. The segment, this segment is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. And you can pre-order your copy at theheartconnections.com. Theheartconnections.com. And if you're on YouTube, I encourage you. I know a lot of people like to tease me about my facial expressions and things like that when I'm doing Heart Talk. And I go live on YouTube every day when I'm doing Heart Talk because some of my YouTube viewers are able to watch me there. And it's just an opportunity for me to be able to connect with you guys in different ways. You can also find me on Facebook at The Heart Connections, Instagram at The Heart Connections, and Periscope at The Heart Connections. And I also go live in Periscope sometimes throughout the day. I go live and on Facebook. I just try to reach people wherever they are. And it's been really good so far. It's been really good so far. Today is Wealthy Wednesday, and we're talking about wealth, and we're talking about what wealth is, what wealth is not. And we talked about vanity in the last hour and how many people are just vain. Just simply put, many people are just vain, and vanity is defined as excessive pride in or admiration of one's own appearance or achievements. See, the core of who you are is inside of you. That's why when you go to someone's funeral, you might see that beautiful body they had, but they're no longer there because they were not just that body. That's a part of them. If you could think about your body, think about it like a shell or a costume. It's just a part of who you are. You yourself are the one that is empowering. Like if you were to get into that costume, you yourself are the one that makes it valid and makes it happen. I want to talk about that because I feel like too many of us are vain. Too many of us are focused on externally what we can do. And it's not because we're bad. And I'm not saying this, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm, trying to make them feel bad about themselves. But I do want us to understand that we've been conditioned to be very fickle, to be very vain, to be very, what's the word I'm looking for? Let's see, conceited, self-absorbed. We've been feudal. We've been trained to be like that. We live in a culture. We live in a culture that rewards people just for looking good. They can be mean and nasty. They don't have to have any real substance to who they are. They can just look good. And they get rewarded for it and they get heralded for it. And beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And when you talk about physical beauty, it literally only is skin deep and it doesn't last. I look at pictures of older women that I see now, and they're absolutely beautiful. When I see pictures of them from like when long time ago, sometimes you can't even tell. It's like, wow, she was gorgeous back in the day. Wow, she was, she had it going on. Not that she's not pretty now, because I even look at my pictures from high school and I see how pretty I was when I was younger, and I think about how ugly I felt. I never felt pretty. But when I look at those pictures, I see a pretty little girl. And it hurts me because I see a pretty little girl who did not think she was pretty at the time. Even though people were telling her that she was pretty, I did not feel pretty. And that's why I want to talk to you about valuing yourself. I want to talk to you about the value you place on yourself, because a lot of times we place value on everyone and everything but who we are. We really place, value on, how much we can produce, how, how much you can do this or how much you can do that. And I'm telling you, we have to get to a place where we have to stop that. Seriously. One of the things that changed my life was when I realized how important it was for me to value the core of Adelaide. Not what Adelaide could do to produce, not what Adelaide could do to make other people feel better about themselves, but what Adelaide could do to feel better about herself. Sometimes we've been taught that it's selfish, but sometimes we have to be selfish in order to be selfless. Sometimes we have to be selfish in order to find ourselves, find who we are, find what it is that we need to do. I talked to you in the last hour about my finding my wealth and my worth and my degree and how I was pursuing becoming a nurse practitioner, and I'm still going to do that. That is like people say bucket list, not necessarily a bucket list item, but it's just something I'm very interested in and I'm going to do. But there was a time that I was pursuing that degree and pursuing that career because I felt that was what was going to make me valuable. That was what was going to make me wealthy financially, but also make me wealthy from within. If I can say, "Oh, I'm a nurse practitioner," or "I'm helping other people," that's very reputable. That is very honorable. People hail and herald people, doctors, nurses in the healthcare field. Just like when you hear somebody smart, usually people will say, "What you want to be, a doctor or a lawyer?" And that really gets on my nerves because what happens, what you're telling people who may not present themselves as smart as these other people, or may not be interested in being a doctor or a lawyer, it's like, if you don't want to do this, that's not important. And we've been told that through life. Like we've told certain women, if you don't have a child, then you're not a woman. We've told certain men, if you don't make a certain amount of money, you're not a man. Well, we may not have told them physically, but we've told them that by the way that we treated them, the actions that we took towards them, our behavior towards them, our beliefs surrounding these topics. And this is something that we need to really understand, because if you don't value yourself, nobody else is going to do it. And if you don't value yourself, you cannot think that buying a $300 pair of shoes or $1,000 pair of jeans is going to make you valuable. The jeans were expensive, overpriced jeans, overpriced shoes, but it still doesn't change who you are at the core. And I want you to really think about that. I want you to really embrace it, because it forces you to think about, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you doing what you're doing? And why do you do it the way that you do it? Why are you a stickler for certain things? I was talking the other day, this revelation hit me. We talk about valuing ourselves. So I have been learning to value myself more, and it's been spilling over into my parenting, which it should. One thing I noticed is that when my older children were younger, I would encourage them, like I would almost force them to like give somebody a hug. Let's say we see a family member and the person obviously wants to hug my child, but my child does not want to hug them. I would be that mom that would be like, hug so and so, and I would fuss at them for not wanting to hug that person or whatever, because I valued other people's feelings more than my own, and I was impressing that onto my children. So I was accustomed to hugging people if I didn't want to hug them, and being nice to them if I didn't want to be nice to them. If I didn't feel nice, it was like a show, like a put on. I didn't value myself enough. It was okay for me to fake it to make other people feel better. And that's what I work. I really have been working on that. So I was having a conversation the other day, and I was just saying, shout out to you, Auntie Moni. I was talking with my aunt the other day, and I said, I don't force the kids to hug people like I used to. And that all came because of a value of self that I have now, that I can now share with my children. I wasn't able to share that with them because I didn't value myself in that way before. And I'll explain what I mean. I can, I don't have to tell you, you don't have to hug anybody, because you need to know that you have boundaries. And this goes back to valuing yourself. Some people give up their body, give up their time. I know women who just have sex with men just because they ask. Well, I just had sex with him because he asked me. I'm like, well, huh? That went over my head. But then when I thought about it, there's no difference when I'm offering time I don't have trying to overcompensate because I want people to love me and accept me. And therefore, I will put myself in difficult situations to try to appease them or try to make them love me or care for me even more. No, it shows up in different ways. And when we talk about the word of the day, dogmatic, a lot of this dogma has been pushed into us. What's valuable and what's not. Even in the church, even in religion, religion has taken the reins and almost it for many people has like blocked the ears. Religion has like been a covering, like a darkness that's Christ from coming in and being able to work on people's hearts and change them. So I just want to encourage you to value yourself. And it shows up in different ways. When you begin to value yourself, you start to eat a little different. You start to want to work out and move your body and get healthy. When you start to value yourself, you'll notice that your crowd is going to change. Certain people you hang with, you're not going to hang with them the way you used to. You're not going to do the things that you were doing. Why? Because you value yourself now. You love yourself now. You don't have to do what they're doing just so that you can be accepted and be loved. That's wealth. That is an abundance of what was the definition? I'm clicking back to it specifically. A plentiful supply of a particular desirable thing. Don't you desire to feel good about yourself? Don't you desire to respect yourself and carry yourself in a way that encourages others and sets the tone of how they're going to treat you, respect you, and look to you? Think about this as you go through your day. Do you value yourself? That's wealth. That is wealth. Wealth is when you know that you're important. And we're going to talk about some other things that wealth is in the next hour. I have a great interview coming up at 12:30. So I want you to make sure you guys stick around. We're talking about lupus awareness. I'll talk a little bit more about that in our news you can use segment coming up at 12 o'clock. But think about it. Are you valuing yourself? That's the core of your wealth. When you value yourself, you value the God in you. Not valuing yourself for vanity reasons so that the world can see, but a value that seeps and oozes from the inside out and blesses the world with goodness. So you think about it. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, kinetichi-fi.com. When I think about valuing myself, I think about going higher. Higher. Come on, Legacy. Take us higher. Love this song. This going out to you, Sean. We ya. Love you, girl. Kai high five. All right, all right, all right. Thank you guys so much for watching the video and being here. We are valuing ourselves. We are redefining what wealth is on this Wealthy Wednesday and understanding that wealth is a whole lot more than the amount of money that you have in the bank. You think about that. And this is Adelai Brown, your heart coach. Make sure you like the video, comment, subscribe, and share. We want to make sure that everybody is healing their hearts and transforming their lives. Love you guys.